Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to continue with division, just like we were working on last week. Today we are going to be doing 3 digits by 1. So the very first problem on your page says 583 divided by 2. So the very first thing we do is that we're going to write this as a number sentence. So that would be 583 divided by 2 equals my quotient. Remember that our answer when we divide is called our quotient. So you have been doing the box. During this time, you have only 4 problems and you have more opportunity to be working on the division, doing the standard algorithm. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. The very first thing is that the big number, which is my dividend, goes inside the box. So I'm going to go ahead and write the big number. The big number is called my dividend. And the dividend goes inside the house. The number that goes outside is going to be the small number. It is called my divisor. To finish, I'm going to put a times up here. And remember, when we're dividing using the standard algorithm, we can use dirty, monkeys, smell, bad. Divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So the very first thing I'm going to look is my divisor has only 1 digit. So I'm only going to be dividing by 1 digit. Now, if you do not know your basic facts, you need to write them down. If you already know them, that's good. Since my divisor is 2, I know that I'm going to need the basic facts of 2. So 2 times 0 equals 0. 2 times 1 equals 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times 3 equals 6. 2 times 4 equals 8. 2 times 5 equals 10. 2 times 6 equals 12. 2 times 7 equals 14. 2 times 8 equals 16. 2 times 9 equals 18. And 2 times 10 equals 20. And why did I write the multiplication tables of 2? Because my divisor is 2. So the very first number that we're dividing by is going to be 5. So I'm going to go and look in my products. Do I have a 5? I do not. I have a 4 and I have a 6. We cannot use the 6 because it's greater and we only have 5, but we could use the 4. Okay, so if you notice, 2 times what gives me 5? It's going to be 2 times 2. So when we're dividing, we're going to say 2 because the number 2 goes inside 5 2 times. We can make 2 groups of 2. So I just divided, so now I'm going to multiply. 2 times 2 equals, and it's already here, 4. Just make sure to write it down. Now we're going to subtract. 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is actually equals to 1. The next step is to bring down the next digit, which is going to be an 8. And now we have 18. 2 times what gives me 18? We actually have it right here. That would be 2 times 9. So I'm going to write the 9. And remember, we're dividing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a check mark. Now I'm going to multiply. 2 times 9. Remember that equals to 18. Don't forget to write it down. Now we're going to subtract. 18 minus 18 equals to 0. And the last step is to bring down. Bring down the last digit, which is going to be a 3. 2 times what equals to 3? that's actually going to be up here because we don't have a 3. So it'll be 2 times 1. So 2 times 1, that equals to 2. Make sure to, I'm sorry, I forgot to put check mark, divide. So we multiply 2 times 1, that equals to 2. Make sure you write it down. Subtract 3 minus 2, that equals to 1. And bring down. If you notice, there's nothing else to bring down, but we do have a 1 that is left. That is going to be called my remainder 1. So my quotient is 291, remainder 1. I can go ahead and check my work by multiplying my quotient, which is 291 times 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 9 times 2, it's up here, 18. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 is 5. Remember, we had a remainder, so we do need to add the remainder. 2 plus 1 is 3. 8 plus nothing is 8. 5 plus nothing is 5. Notice that we had the same dividend. So that means my answer is correct. So now I'm going to go ahead and go on to problem number 2. And problem number 2 says 363 divided by 3. Remember, we're dividing. The number sentence would say 363 divided by is shown by this division symbol. The divisor is 3. My answer will be my quotient. When we divide, our answer is the quotient. So I'm going to go ahead and first things first, get the big number, my dividend. I like to write it spaced out. Inside the house, my divisor is 3. And don't forget times. Since we are dividing, we can go ahead and use dad, mom, sister, baby, brother, or dirty monkey smell bad, which is divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. Since my divisor is 3, I'm going to write my timetables of 3. If you already know your timetables, you do not have to do this step because you can do it in your head. If you're still having trouble with your basic facts, you do need to write them down. And you also need to practice your basic facts. Use this time that you're at home to practice them so that you're ready for next year. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 9 is 27. And 3 times 10 equals to 30. So remember, we're looking at our quotients. And if you notice, we have 1 digit, so I'm going to divide by 1 digit. 3 times what gives me 3? Do I have a 3? Yes, I do. So it'll be 3 times 1. So when we divide, we put a check mark. So now we multiply it. 3 times 1 equals to 3. Do not forget to write it down. Next step is to subtract. So 3 minus 3, that equals to 0. Last step is to bring down. Well, what number is next? The next number is going to be 6. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down the 6. So now I have 6. 3 times what gives me 6? If you notice on your multiplication, that would be 3 times 2. So I divide and now I multiply. 3 times 2 equals 6. Write it down. Subtract 6 minus 6 equals to 0. And the last step is going to be to bring it down. And I forgot to put a check mark on that one. It's supposed to be 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back and I'm going to divide. Can the 3 go into the 3? Yes, it can. 1 time. So I'm going to go ahead and put 1. Multiplying 3 times 1 equals to 3. Subtract 3 minus 3 equals to 0. Bring down. Is there anything else to bring down? No, there isn't. So that means my quotient will be 121. So I'm going to go ahead and check by multiplying 121 times my divisor, which was 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3. Did we get the same dividend? Yes, we did. Now, I do want to call attention to the actual problem. I don't know if you noticed, but 363 ended with a 3, and we were dividing by 3. Notice that we had no remainder because the last digit, the 3, is divisible by 3. So there's nothing left over. Just a little observation for you guys. So you are going to have 2 more problems to complete. You have 689 divided by 4 and 371 divided by 6. Now, I know some of you guys are still doing the box, and that is good to do the box to check your work. But remember, right now, since we have more time, our goal is to get this standard algorithm division. So try it. If you don't get it, try it again. If you don't get it, try it again. Call me, text me, send me a picture. I can make a video for you, or I can figure out somehow to make